The town of Ash lay nestled between rolling hills, its quiet streets bathed in the warm glow of the afternoon sun. Dust motes danced lazily in the light, and the sound of children's laughter echoed around the square as they played near the old well. Life had settled into a rhythm after the last raid. The townsfolk were grateful for their peace but kept a wary eye on the horizon. Each creak of wood or whisper of wind could set hearts racing, reminding them of the danger that lurked just beyond their borders. Despite their unease, there was a shared optimism among the residents. They had rebuilt after the chaos, mending fences and repairing homes, all while tending to their small farms and shops. The people of Ash were resilient, drawing strength from one another as they shared stories and dreams of a brighter future. On market days, friendly chatter filled the air as neighbors exchanged goods and gossip, united by their hopes for what lay ahead. Having endured so much together, they yearned for stability and safety. The last Marshal, a figure both respected and trusted, patrolled the streets with a watchful eye. He embodied their determination to protect what they had fought so hard to rebuild. There was a sense that something new was on the horizon, a change that could bring even more hope to Ash. Little did they know, soon a mail-order bride would arrive, ready to weave her own story into the fabric of their town's history. In the heart of Ash stood the last Marshal, a man whose presence commanded both respect and admiration. His name was Marshal Jacob Flint, known throughout the town for his unwavering courage and dedication. Years of guarding Ash against outlaws had etched deep lines of weariness on his face, but his steel-gray eyes still sparkled with determination. He had seen many challenges arise, raiders who sought to plunder their hard-earned peace, but each time he had stood firm, ready to defend what the townsfolk held dear. Marshal Flint wore his badge with pride, a symbol of hope for the community. His weathered hat cast shadows over his brow as he patrolled the streets, scanning for any signs of trouble. Although he bore the weight of responsibility heavily on his shoulders, the people offered him their unwavering support. Children pointed at him with admiration, while adults exchanged knowing nods as they passed him by. They knew he was their shield against chaos and violence. Despite his bravery, there was a sadness that lingered within him. The battles he'd fought had cost him dearly. He often found himself haunted by memories of fallen comrades and the lives lost during fierce confrontations. Yet he pressed on, determined to maintain the peace in Ash. With the recent arrival of a mail-order bride looming on the horizon, he felt a glimmer of hope pierce through his fatigue, a chance not only to protect but to build a life worth living. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue across the landscape, a stagecoach rattled into Ash, stirring excitement and curiosity among the townsfolk. From it emerged Clara Hayes, a determined woman in her late 20s with bright eyes full of hope. She had traveled far from her hometown, seeking a fresh start after the loss of her family and the chaos of city life. The idea of becoming a mail-order bride had seemed unconventional, but to Clara, it represented a chance to build something meaningful in a place untouched by her past. Clara took a deep breath as she stepped onto the dusty street, feeling both nervous and thrilled. The stories she had heard about Ash spoke of its beauty and community spirit, offering her dreams of love and belonging. As she looked around at the quaint buildings and friendly faces, she hoped this town would become her new home. Her journey had not been easy. After saying goodbye to everything she knew, Clara boarded the train with little more than a small suitcase and an open heart. She imagined herself finding joy in simple pleasures, cooking meals, tending to gardens, and sharing laughter with her future husband. More than anything, she longed for stability and warmth in her life. As Clara made her way through Ash, she felt a sense of destiny pulling her toward something greater. Little did she know that her arrival would intertwine her fate with that of Marshal Jacob Flint, setting in motion a story that neither could have anticipated. As Clara settled into her new life in Ash, she often crossed paths with Marshal Jacob Flint. Their first meetings were filled with a mix of curiosity and caution, as both recognized the weight of their respective roles in the town. Clara admired Jacob's unwavering commitment to keeping Ash safe, while he found inspiration in her resilience and determination to start anew. Their conversations began with simple exchanges, Clara asking about the town's history and Jacob sharing tales of his experiences as the last Marshal. With each encounter, they developed a growing respect for one another. Clara often volunteered to help in the community, organizing gatherings and supporting local businesses, which caught Jacob's attention. He admired her ability to bring people together, something he had always valued as essential for maintaining harmony. In times of trouble, such as when rumors of the 12 raiders emerged, Clara stood by Jacob's side, offering encouragement and strength. She understood the burden he carried and made it her mission to show him that he was not alone. She often brought fresh bread or warm meals to his office, reminding him to take care of himself amid the pressures of his duties. As their bond deepened, their mutual support blossomed into a friendship founded on trust and shared goals. Clara began to understand the complexities of Jacob's role, while he appreciated her fresh perspective on life in Ash. Together, they navigated the challenges of their town, laying the groundwork for a partnership that would soon evolve into something more profound. The fragile peace in Ash was shattered one afternoon when whispers of danger spread through the town like wildfire. Rumors circulated that a notorious gang of 12 raiders had returned, their infamous reputation causing fear to seep into the hearts of the townsfolk. The raiders were known for their ruthless tactics, having left destruction in their wake during their previous raids. As tales of their misdeeds resurfaced, panic began to grip the community. Marshal Jacob Flint felt the weight of responsibility settle heavily on his shoulders as he listened to the growing anxiety among the residents. He knew that he could not allow fear to paralyze Ash. It was his duty to protect his home and its people. Clara, noticing the Marshal's unease, stood by him, offering her unwavering support. Together they strategized, discussing ways to prepare for the gang's possible return and reassuring the townsfolk. As night fell, Jacob gathered a small group of trusted townsmen to patrol the outskirts of Ash. Shadows loomed around them as they rode along the dusty trails, hearts racing with anticipation. The Marshal's resolve was tested as he confronted memories of past confrontations with outlaws and the toll they took on his spirit. With Clara's encouragement echoing in his mind, Jacob steeled himself for whatever lay ahead. He vowed to defend Ash against these raiders, knowing that failure was not an option. The safety of his town, and perhaps even his future with Clara, depended on his courage and leadership in this critical moment. As the threat of the raiders loomed ever closer, Clara stepped up to unite the community, understanding that strength lay in their togetherness. She organized meetings at the town hall, where she encouraged townsfolk to share their fears and ideas for defending Ash. Clara's passion and determination inspired many to contribute their skills, whether it was gathering supplies for barricades or creating lookout teams. One evening, as she stood in front of a crowd, Clara raised her hands for silence. "We cannot let fear divide us," she declared, her voice steady and clear. "Instead, we must come together and support one another as we face this danger." The townspeople nodded in agreement, feeling empowered by her words. She proposed a town-wide training session led by Jacob, where everyone could learn basic defense tactics, a plan that sparked enthusiasm among the men and women alike. Clara also took it upon herself to help Jacob prepare. She brought him food during his long nights of planning and scouting, reminding him of his own well-being while also offering strategic suggestions based on what she had learned from the townspeople's stories. With each passing day, their collaboration grew stronger, a blend of her organizational skills and his experience as a marshal. Through this partnership, Clara not only found her place in Ash, but also solidified her bond with Jacob. Together, they became symbols of hope against the dark threat of the raiders, embodying resilience and determination that would inspire all of Ash to stand tall in the face of adversity. The tension in Ash reached a boiling point as the news of the raiders' imminent return spread like wildfire. Marshal Jacob Flint stood before the gathered townsfolk, his jaw set and a fire in his eyes. "I vow to hang all 12 raiders if they dare to step foot in this town again," he declared, his voice ringing with conviction. The crowd murmured, a mix of fear and admiration washing over them as they felt the strength of his resolve. Jacob's motivations ran deep. He had lost friends in past raids and could not bear the thought of seeing more innocent lives shattered by the same ruthless gang. Each scar on his body told a story, a reminder of battles fought to protect the very people who now looked to him for safety. He thought of Clara, her unwavering support lifting him when despair threatened to sink him. The thought of her future intertwined with Ash gave him renewed purpose. He wanted to build a life with her, one free from the shadows of violence that haunted him. As he shared stories of his past confrontations, Jacob revealed the sacrifices he had made. Each time he rode out against outlaws, it was not just his own life at stake but the lives of everyone he cared for. "We cannot let fear govern us," he urged. "Together, we will stand strong against these raiders." With each word, he ignited a spark of courage in the hearts of the townsfolk, rallying them to prepare for the fight ahead, united under their brave Marshal and fueled by hope for a brighter future. The day of the showdown arrived, and tension thickened the air as the townsfolk gathered, ready to face the 12 raiders. Marshal Jacob Flint, mounted on his horse at the front, felt the weight of their anxious gazes, but he drew strength from Clara's unwavering presence beside him. She had proven herself a worthy partner, embodying courage and determination as she prepared to support him in battle. As the sun dipped low in the sky, a dust cloud billowed on the horizon, signaling the approach of their enemies. Jacob raised his hand to signal silence among his companions. "This is our moment," he said firmly. "Remember what we're fighting for: our home, our families, and our future." When the raiders finally appeared, a gang of menacing figures on horseback, Clara took her place behind a barricade with other townsfolk armed with makeshift weapons. She felt a mix of fear and resolve. This was not just about survival but about standing together as a community. As shouts rang out and firearms fired, Jacob led the charge forward, rallying everyone to follow his lead. Clara took aim alongside the townsmen, helping to cover Jacob's advance as they assessed their enemy's movements. The battle unfolded fiercely, showcasing teamwork and bravery. With sharp commands and quick thinking, they coordinated attacks, flanking the raiders from multiple sides. Jacob fought valiantly at the forefront while Clara encouraged others to push through their fears. Together, they pressed on, determined not only to defend Ash but to prove that their combined strength could overcome any threat, no matter how dire. The clash became a testament to unity fueled by courage and love. In the aftermath of the fierce battle, Ash stood battered but unbroken, the air filled with a sense of victory and relief. The townsfolk gathered together, embracing one another and sharing stories of their bravery. Marshal Jacob Flint, though weary and marked by the fight, felt a surge of pride for the community he had sworn to protect. As he looked around, he realized that love and courage had woven a new fabric of hope throughout Ash. Clara, standing beside him, was a beacon of strength during the tumultuous time. Her unwavering support had inspired the townspeople to come together, and her spirit shone brightly in the wake of their triumph. With each passing moment, their bond grew deeper as they shared the weight of their experiences. Jacob admired her not just as a partner but as a true ally who stood shoulder to shoulder with him against adversity. As they began to rebuild, Clara and Jacob found joy in small moments, laughing over meals prepared together, discussing plans for the future, and helping neighbors restore their homes. The warmth of their connection blossomed into love, each day solidifying their commitment to one another and to the town. Together, they envisioned a brighter future for Ash, a community united by resilience and fortified by the trials they had overcome. With Clara by his side, Jacob felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They were no longer just individuals fighting for survival. They were a team, ready to build a life filled with hope and promise in their beloved town. As the dust settled in Ash and the community began to rebuild, a renewed spirit of hope emerged among the townsfolk. They gathered in the square, their hearts united by the trials they had faced together. Marshal Jacob Flint stood beside Clara, looking out at their neighbors, each one a reminder of the strength that comes from unity. Clara addressed the crowd, her voice steady and warm. "What we've accomplished shows us that together, we can overcome any challenge," she said. "In times of darkness, it's our resilience and support for one another that lights the way." The townspeople nodded, inspired by her words. The lessons learned during their battle against the raiders would not be forgotten. Together, they had discovered that true strength lies not just in individual bravery but in the bonds forged through shared struggles. Families came together to repair homes and businesses, while friendships deepened through acts of kindness and cooperation. As Jacob and Clara looked around at their friends and neighbors, they knew that Ash was not just a town. It was a community built on trust and love. They were ready to face whatever lay ahead, whether it be rebuilding after a raid or welcoming new challenges, knowing that they could count on each other for support. With laughter echoing through the streets and hope lighting their paths, the people of Ash embraced their brighter future together. They had proven that resilience was their greatest ally, ensuring that as long as they stood united, no threat could ever break their spirit.